way or the way you think it should go. Don't have a way you think it should go. Let life just happen. Thoughts make you think that life should go the way you want it to go. And if it doesn't, if someone don't do or say or act the way you think they should act, you hate them. And then you blame them for being mad. It's the darndest thing I ever seen. But it's amazing to see it. So relax. Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
💔💊💂💎.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home.
That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby. You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room.
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border. And then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on America's soil. So he became the anchor baby. You don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. How you doing, folks? Appreciate you tuning in on this fine Monday. Back with you again, and it is a pleasure. Truly an absolute pleasure. Thank you for tuning in, rolling in from Joel's chat. American Anchor Baby on this Monday. About to get into it here, okay? I got some stuff on the mind. We're going to get it out. We're gonna figure it out. We're going to deal with it. And your calls, if you'd like to call in and talk to the Anchor Baby. I see you all. Supporters on Rumble, supporters on D-Live. I am live on those places. So thank you. About to get started, you know. What can I say? It's what people are talking about. It's what's facing the West. All these things we're talking about, so important. But not really. So we're going to try to get into it here. They're talking about great replacement theory. They're talking about the women. And you know I've been getting into it with these women that call themselves conservative. Okay, I've had some call it a crusade of gripe. I don't know. But we'll get into many things here. Look. Oh, yeah, and someone called me on Friday. Susan, where are you? Do you hear my voice? I had a nice call on Friday and wanted to talk about a few things here. We're going to get into it. Like I said, it was a nice call on Friday, which, by the way, if you don't know, was the flight. We take it on Fridays, Flight Fridays, Nick Street Fridays. It was a great show. Fantastic show. Amazing show. Don't you think? We had fun. That's how I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. So we had a good time. It's up to you guys, I guess, to say if it was a fantastic show. We don't need to talk about the ending. We don't really need to talk about the ending. And see, the problem with the ending on Friday's show really is a problem with the beginning. It's the problem of preparedness, awareness. The problem with the ending of Friday's show really was a problem that started all the way at the beginning. Isn't that always the story? Duh. The story always starts at the beginning. But basically, your pilot forgot to fuel the plane, okay? Don't report me. I already got reported because like over 100 people died. But you don't need to add flame to the fire. Okay, we crashed. That's what I'm trying to say in a big convoluted way. We crashed. The plane crashed. The plane had no fuel, and it went into the ground, and we died. Virtually in the virtual world. Okay, YouTube? I'm sorry. I'm emotional about it. Don't fly without fuel. That's probably a good idea. You know, you got to leave with enough fuel. It's a good lesson. Nick, you are the great replacement. That baseline was to die for. Chris, do you disagree? I'm talking with my viewers who were there watching Friday. Amazing content. I mean, you're missing it if you weren't there, but yes, that baseline was amazing. I don't care what anybody says. And now that you've all watched that baseline, you will return to that baseline multiple times in your life. You'll find that to be the case. Sheree Reed and that legendary video that rocked the bass community. Speaking of rocking the community, that is the world. Hey, there's a segue for you. Rocking the world. Will AI, not just AI, it's already rocking the boat, no. Will AI girlfriends, AI wife bots, will they rock the fabric of society? They're saying it will. They're in fact positive it will. VTubers. Do you know what a VTuber is? Tell me if you need me to slow down, I'll slow down. I'll explain the terms for you. I'll catch you up to this modern hell. I'll catch you up. Do you know what a VTuber is? You're watching a YouTuber, I guess. But I don't identify with identities. I say, hopefully. A VTuber is a virtual, is a portmanteau, is a, what do you say? What do you call this word? It's a word created out of different words, virtual and YouTuber, VTuber. So it's this, what I'm doing. But imagine you're hearing my voice, but instead of seeing me, the anchor baby, you see this. Feast your eyes.
こんにちは。ここはどういうお店なんですか?
Oh, what?
ここは VTuber と一緒にお酒が飲めるお店です。
じゃあ一緒に飲みましょう。
Sounds like Japanese. That little Japanese beer with your Japanese VTuber. Is that what's going on? That's at least what this caption of the post says. VTuber bars are opening in Japan where you could chat with streamers while having a drink. Details below. So I'm supposed to understand that there's a real person speaking through this virtual Japanese cartoon where you could sit and drink and chat with this VTuber, okay? You understand what's going on here? It really is interesting always to see this coming out of Japan. Number of reasons. Shout out to the Japanese yen. Shout out to the, can we get a shout out to the Japanese yen for breaking barriers? If you don't know what's going on, the Japanese yen is in free fall. And Bloomberg is saying it's worrying world leaders. CNN is saying Janet Yellen and Biden meeting with Japanese Prime Minister Kishida. Many speculating that the Bank of Japan's reliance on U.S. treasuries and runaway inflation is sacrificing the Japanese yen. They say Japan is America's. But anyways, I say this is, I mean, these are all just things I've heard, right? I mention all these things because Japan is a fascinating nation. Their free fall in their economy, I don't think, is unrelated with the fall in birth rates, fall in what should we call it? Sovereignty and identity, national identity, in the sense of the world stage. I'm speaking on world currencies relying on the big dog, America. Even when the big dog has to go through tough times. Are you understanding me? Because that's how I see. That's my layman's view of economics. The Federal Reserve and all that. Anyways, look, that's not even important. We're talking about culture, and they're going to the bars and they're having fun. They're saying this might rock the fabric of society more so than already. Hey, thanks, Lil Nick. Appreciate that. More than it already is, right? IRL women are being replaced faster than they know. You think birth rates are bad now? Just wait, says the quartering. And so everybody's getting in on this conversation on the AI girlfriends, the replacement of the girls. Some are incredulous. Some are saying, no way, Jose. In fact, one lady, I mentioned her the other day, Lauren Southern. No man is choosing an AI girlfriend, she says. Over a real girlfriend, zero, she says. None. There's a small minority of guys pretending they're choosing AI girlfriends over real ones because they're incapable of formulating the latter. It's the most obvious nuclear level cope, she says. Okay. She said, okay, you guys just can't get girlfriends. Okay, you just can't get real ones. Is her conclusion. But here's the thing about that. It's like, why am I even bringing this up? Because I've mentioned Lauren Southern before, and I've been bringing this like conservative women thing up for a long time, I think, to be honest. I've been showing examples of how when women learn all the things, they're learning all the things on what men should be. They just use it on them. And then when you turn around and tell them, especially the ones who are saying, we're conservatives, we want to fight for the right thing, families are falling apart. They say these things. You hear them. I've been saying that I wonder what I remember the experts did a thing with Tomi Lahren. Remember that? Tomi Lahren. It was the experts with Jesse. And she was saying something about women she was saying something to the men. The men got to man up and just marry these women. You guys remember that with the experts? We were just tiny baby little experts back then. With doughy eyes. We were like doughy-eyed and like little baby experts. But we still saw that this woman, this conservative woman on Fox, she was like, I'm a conservative, but I'm still a woman. It's like these black conservatives. I'm a conservative, I'm a patriot, I'm there with you, Trump all the way, but whoa, I'm still black though, and you can't be racist. Oh, I'm still a woman. You can't tell a woman what to say and what to do. Yeah, I'm with the family. We got to make it happen. Okay, nice. Now, miss, get off social media and you can't lead. And we don't want to listen to your opinion. No, that's misogyny, blah, blah, blah. So I've been saying that, and so Lauren Southern here is all in on this conversation too. Saying, hey, no, they want the real girlfriends, you losers. But I don't think let's say that was true. Let's just do some assuming here. Let's say it's just a bunch of losers who can't get girlfriends. Doesn't that speak to something going on. You know what I mean? Wouldn't you want to understand that and fix that? Not saying that you can fix the world, but this response isn't that. Are you following me a little bit? Okay. Small minority guys, they're saying, what I'm trying to describe here is the runaway train. If that's so, Lord Southern, what's it going to be 10 years from now? What's it, is saying, hey, losers, just man up and get a girlfriend. Will that stop the AI bots, Lauren Southern? That's just my question. Will that stop them from choosing the, as the quartering puts it, in 5 years, the pleasure bots? That's so gross. The pleasure bots will be the choice of many men. Can you change that, the quartering? Change that to males? Change that to animals. In the 5 years, the pleasure bots will be the choice of society's labor, the gruel class of society, the labor class and animals, the beasts of burden, aka former human males. The beast, that's what you should call them, the quartering, please. Will that stop it, Lauren Southern? I don't know. I think they're gonna pick the VTuber girls. That's crazy. The craziest thing. Look, we have data, anecdotal and probably even empirical, if someone so chooses to collect the data and put it in a spreadsheet. But we have the data. OnlyFans. What am I trying to say? What a case study. What a case study on men. That'll never work. OnlyFans? You mean pay for dirty pictures? You could get that for free. Have you ever heard of Google, idiot? Wait, hold on. Why are these OnlyFans people making so much money? Wait a second. OnlyFans is huge. Why do they keep giving them money? You're not, if you're still stuck on that, if you're still stuck on why would any idiot pay for naked pictures of a woman when you could just Google it? You don't want to understand what's going on. You don't know how bad it is. You don't know where men are. That they want a mommy, like you've heard. Jesse Lee Peterson. You may not understand why sometimes you hear these things. Forgive your mother. What are you talking about? Because that's what men want. OnlyFans has been an amazing case study. What men are paying for is not the naked pictures. That's just, you get that for free. You could get that for free. They're paying for the connection, the feelings. They're paying for the feelings. They're paying for she DM'd me, my OnlyFans model. Do you understand how bad it is? So the case study so it's been an amazing case study, don't you think? Doesn't it? The point being, anybody naysaying these pleasure bot wives that the men will pick up, that will turn to, which I know is like an exaggerated, dramatic picture, shouldn't be so glib about what's going on between men and women. They hate each other, and it's crazy. At least growing up in my lifetime, that's how I've seen it. So it's not looking good in that way. Don't you understand? So that's really the point there. Don't discount this. Now, what are we concluding here? It's something I've been bringing up, which many are bringing up. The red pill is bringing up. You've heard the red pill. I've mentioned that some of these people, in my opinion, are overreacting to the red pill. And those are these men who are saying that women today are a mess. They're just sluts. They're going to leave you. They're going to cheat on you. A bunch of things, you know. And so there's this video going around. Before I get to the video, let me finish what I'm saying about the red pill. Look, they're overreacting to the red pill, in my opinion, but they're speaking on women's nature. And what's going on with this AI bots and all that? Well, what are people really talking about? Well, why don't men want to be with women? And the obvious one, which Lauren already said, is, oh, they can't get them. They're unable to, blah, blah, blah. And that's the refrain. But the people who say, well, maybe women could do something. Maybe women can work on themselves. They're horrible people. They hate the women. They hate them, apparently. So they had this, there's this video going around, and it's about these guys on this panel. And if you've heard me speak about some of these before, they call themselves Fresh and Fit. And they're deeply into this, how do I put it? They're into the red pill stuff. That's, I think, a fair way to categorize their content in a way. That they speak about relationships, but they're red-pilled about it. Women are evil. They suck. And they're on this panel, and I'm not going to show you the video. Look, I'll just speak on it. And they're talking about success. What is success? And they go down the line, and it's all these men talking about success. And I have no problem with Fresh and Fit, personally. But they go down this line, and it's like stuff. It's like women and cars and stuff. I want to have a life that I can be proud of. When I wake up, I want to have fun. They're saying stuff like that. I want to have fun, and I want to have the stuff that I want. And so I'm thinking that people are overreacting. They're seeing the red pill guys talk like that, like, screw the women. You don't need to marry them. You got to get money. You got to look amazing, and you got to speak a certain way so you can get as many women as possible. And I think a lot of people are overreacting to them. In that they're seeing young guys get into it, but they're not understanding why. Don't you see that the young guys are missing something? And they think they're finding it. They think what they're missing is all this stuff that some of these red pill guys are talking about. So that's just like my thinking about it. But let's get into something here. You know what? We'll do this first. Because I'm looking at a meme like this. I'm thinking, there's a nasty word here. I know the sun is up, so kids look away from the screen. I look at a meme like this, and it says, conservative women. And this conservative woman is like, Israel is our greatest ally. And over here is a liberal woman, and it says, F Israel. And then it's these two Chads at the bottom, okay? And it's supposedly these two Chads, and this guy's like, F, I agree with the crazy leftist one. And this guy's like, me too, bro. And I look at this, and I'm like, what in the hell is this? What is this? That's not what we should be looking for. Is she based? Bro, is she based? Bro, what does she think about communism or something? Did you catch Joel's show today about obeying? It's like you chose to get married, so you will obey. And there's no such thing as a liberal woman. It's just a weak guy. And did you catch Joel's show today? It was good. There's no such thing as a liberal woman. She'll start cooking and cleaning if she likes you. And if you're not the type of guy who will be like, that's okay, you don't have to do that. Okay, anyways, look. These are some of the things on my mind a little bit. But I think we can move on. We'll finish off with this on women and men, and they don't like each other. Will they turn to AI? On all that, I keep saying, just work on yourself. I don't know if you should get married, but look at how bad it is. So work on yourself so that you can be able to handle these things and actually bring love into a family, et cetera, et cetera. So you know what I say about that. I'm just showing you that men and women hate each other. Look, and I don't think people really want to talk about it because they're using all the words against each other. You hate women. You hate men. Anyways, let's move on. Great replacement theory. They're saying they're replacing the white people. They're bringing in the immigrants on purpose, etc. white Europeans replaced in their own countries, ever accelerating rates of immigration, the birth rates of these people coming in. You know about this somewhat. I've spoken about it. The media loves to say it's a conspiracy theory, and many things. They like to lie about what's really going on. And in a sense, there's this replacement going on. But, you know, there's on this topic in relation to men and women and some of the things brought up so far, the thing that doesn't get, I feel like the great replacement stuff, and I'm just echoing something I read that Elon Musk wrote about. He posted this on Twitter about the great replacement theory. I was kind of saying something like this, so I appreciate Elon Musk crystallizing it. He says it fails to address the foundational issue of low birth rates. And he doesn't, you know, he says record low birth rates are leading to population collapse. And he says there's no replacement going on like on purpose. And I don't know. I'm just saying that the great replacement theory does fail to address why the people here, why the people who are being replaced in a sense, are so willing to allow it. And so you see that it's not just a replacement. It's not just evil people bringing in. It's a people that doesn't want to live. They want to fight. They want to get AI girlfriends, and the women just want to tell them, hey, you can't say that about women. Wait, you're telling me you can't tell me what to do? They're fighting about that, and society's falling apart. So I guess that's really what I'm trying to say with all this. Anyways. Susan on my mind. And then we can get to calls too. I had someone on hold. Apologies if I couldn't get to you. Call me back, 888-775-3773. 888-775-3773. Susan. Oh, Susan, do you hear me? I'm just being dramatic. I had a caller on Friday. And I just wanted to mention her real quick. She was on my mind over the weekend. Susan, she said, she called me. She was someone who called me who said that she's been listening to the network. And that all she hears out of the network is women are evil and men can do no wrong. They could do whatever they want. And she was saying that it's just really hard to hear this. Although she agrees, she was saying she agrees. It's hard to understand. It's just hard. It's really difficult to hear that. Which, by the way, that's not even our message. I never say only men can do whatever they want and women are evil. That's never, I don't think I've ever been the message of Bond. But she was all like, I hear this message and I want to kill myself, she says. I have suicidal ideation. And I had, you know, throughout the call, I pointed out this drama she was putting out of, you guys say only the men can do no wrong and the women can do anything. And we were able to, with a little bit of pain, able to get past that and conclude that. And she admitted, she's like, okay, fine. I admit it. You guys say all people need to forgive. That anyone with anger is evil, okay? And then the call kind of ended. I know people were like, oh, you handled that call super well. That's amazing, Nick. And I know I was correct in what I was saying, but if I could just have a chance to bring it home. I know we don't, I guess maybe this may be silly. If I could just have a second chance to bring it home. Because what Susan was going through, she's talking about a divorce and so many things, right? She's got a kid. She's like, oh, you guys say that the woman has to stay home. I don't know if I said this, Susan, if you're even listening. But that's it. You can let go of all that. Yeah, you realize that that's how it should have been. The woman stays home and all that. But your life went the way it went. And now you got to deal with that. And what's beautiful about your life is that your life is showing you exactly what you got to let go of. Not a lot of people have that, should I call it almost luxury, a blessing? Because it's a strange thing to call these negative things blessings, I understand. But from the outside looking in, it's easier for me to say this, Susan. And your life is showing you exactly what you got to let go of. And if there's a message that my show is trying to put out that I get from Jesse is, is one thing is that you may have heard is to let go of this world. Whatever your husband is saying, whatever you gotta let go of all that. All that blame, hate, and victimhood is gonna keep you in that hell. I don't know if I made that clear. I just want to bring that home that you're in a good spot. You're in a good spot your life is showing you exactly what you gotta overcome. Your husband, your kid, your idea of how it should have been. This idea of I'm so evil. Hey, you're also hearing us say overcome anger, forgive. So it's a perfect chance to forgive. So I'm not, anyways, I think we're done with that. I just wanted to say that, not trying to be all deep. I just want to mention that, Susan, because all this suicidal ideation is all drama anyways. You don't really mean that. That's just emotion and crazy. You're just feeling all sorts of things. You're not in your clear mind. And that's just drama anyways. And one final thing on fighting and fighting with other people. And then we'll get to calls, 888-775-3773. I realized something about fighting with people. I feel like I've heard Jesse say this a million times. But for all the people who have been saying, I'm black-pilled, Nick, you're going to break up marriages, you hate women. Here's a little tip, I think, and tell me where I'm wrong. You can call me in. I think here's a little tip that might save marriages. This might save marriages. Okay. You don't have to fight. I know this is silly. You may have heard this. But look, we have to start being able to recognize the signs of conflict, okay? Because you may not always be fighting with words or already yelling. But when there's signs of conflict with a person, anybody in life, and you're feeling the tension, do you know what I'm talking about? The signs of conflict. You're confused. You're angry. You're offended. You're many things. Start seeing those signs the moment you do stop fighting. You don't have to explain anything to the person, even if it's weird and awkward. Even if they're like, what are you doing right now? You don't have to fight. Go walk away. And don't come up with any conclusions, and the answer will become clear. I don't know how to put this. It's so funny. It's so interesting. And it might save your marriage. So for all the people saying I want to see all these marriages fall apart and I hate women or something, there's a little tip that might save your marriage, and you might go the distance so that maybe when you die and she's 50 years later, she'll see the truth as well, as Jesse says. You don't have to fight. And what's amazing is if you don't get into the fight, you'll see what was wrong. You'll see, how do I put this? You'll hopefully see that it was nothing, is what I'm trying to say. That there was nothing with the other person. There was no problem with that person ever. With anybody outside of you ever. Ever. And if I'm wrong, call me. Give me one example where I'm wrong. I would like to be proved wrong because I think I'm right on this one. I got calls. Let's get to calls. 888-775-3773. We got Will, first-time caller out of Texas. Appreciate your call. You're on the air. Oh, Will, are you talking? Do I have you No, Will, you're unmuted and you're on the air. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, sir.
Yeah, it's Leo from Texas.
Oh,
I just wanted to say,
I got Will.
You're on fire. This is my first time seeing your show. It's amazing, man. I don't care what I'm doing. I'm going to make sure I come by more. Hit the like button. If I'm smoking pot or playing video games with Jason in the basement from New York, I'm going to come by. You're doing amazing, man.
Hey, thank you for that. I feel like I got to disavow some of that.
You mean well. I can hear you're bringing really good energy to your stream. That's all I wanted to say, brother.
Appreciate that, sir. Is there one thing you liked about? Is there one thing you could say that you liked about the show so far?
Yeah. It's just your. I think that men like myself, that have doubt, and you're bringing no doubt energy at all. It's like you're not doubting it. You're like, I know this is firm, but if I'm wrong, you can change my opinion of the matter, and I'm open to listen to that. But I absolutely do not doubt, and I stand on this, and I like that because that's how I am as well. Some
things I'm authoritative on, like for example, I try to stay in the things that I know. And sometimes people say, hey, you don't sound too authoritative on certain things. And you know what? I don't want to sound authoritative on things that I really don't know. It's like, for example, some things I'm quite authoritative on. Like, for example, the McDouble is only for a Christian society. Now, I know you were expecting like a deeper authoritative insight, but that's not. I don't have much of those. But this I'm sure of. The McDouble, an unchristian society cannot handle the density of calories in the McDouble. Look how fat everybody is.
Right. No, I totally agree. I'm the same way, but in the area like with relationships. But one thing that Jesse taught me that made me see the light is I was so gun ho on like the value of a relationship, so much so that I've made myself like I go by the name husband on social media, and then I say, oh wow, this is not me being passionate. This is desperate. This is the boy in me that is now in the world alone. He's crying out, saying, I want a family, just like a woman. And I couldn't see that because I thought I was
That is interesting. If I may ask you, if I don't want to misunderstand you, it sounds like what you're saying is that at some point you realize, hey, I want a family and all that. And you even may have thought that was like maybe a masculine thing, like I'm going to lead a family or something. But now you're seeing that it was this desire out of like an emptiness, like a woman, like out of desperation, fear, anything.
It was fear, desperation. It was all that, man. And I had to see the light that I'm like, I go by husband on all these social medias because it brings me joy.
That is so funny. So like on social media, you were calling yourself husband with other women, or is that just like an online name you chose?
It's an online name across like
totally.
Like apps. So I would get like 10,000 followers on an app like a POS, and then I'm like everybody, male and female, was calling me that. I thought I was standing for something because I'm like I got all these values. Good guy.
That is really interesting.
Like, I don't believe in no casual sex.
That is it. It's interesting to me because imagine if you had entered a marriage in that state. It's what a lot of men are doing. It's what a lot of conservative, I'm a new alpha male, I'm a new Christian men are doing. And so I'm not being a little naysayer about marriage. I'm just pointing it out that we got to really work on ourselves. Because imagine if you had entered a marriage like that, thinking you were, I'm going to lead a family, blah, blah, blah. What a mess.
Yeah, I did. And that's what Joel wanted to get into because, you know, I have a very unique situation to where I got into an arranged marriage with it.
I totally missed this. Did you bring this up on Joel's show?
No, I brought it up on Jesse's.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I brought it up on Jesse's show, and Jesse was like, wow, so you was in an arranged marriage?
That's an amazing...
Go into that. And you know what? It lasts 3 months, man.
Just stay close to your phone too, Leo, if you could. But
can you hear me?
That's better. You were saying it lasted 3 minutes?
3 months.
3 months. I got to go back and check out that call on the Jesse Lee Peterson show, Leo. Fascinating stuff.
Yeah, it's like March 9th-ish, I think, or something like that. He had that Tar Baby shirt on. I know that.
Nice.
I know that. But yeah, so when you go into a relationship, it's like if you're not in the fallen state and she is, it's just going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess because you're...
What do you mean by that?
What's going to happen is you're going to be like, for me as example, I was very like stern and firm on some things. I'm like, oh, you know, well, you're gonna do this and you're gonna do that. The things that we talked about previous, and then you know when a woman gets into the marriage, like Jesse always says, she starts to change her ways and says, okay, I got you now. I may have dressed modestly before, but now I'm gonna show a little cleavage. And you're like, no, you're not. You're not going to do that. And you don't yell at her. You don't judge her for it. But what happens is the woman starts to play this game to where she says, well, at least what I experienced, where she starts to say, you know what, you're being kind of unfair. You're not really you don't really value women. You just think that they're supposed to be your slave. Like, you'll hear that from your
Totally.
own wife. Like, wait a second. Like, I married you and you knew that you were going to stay home, cook and clean. You agreed to the program. But now, and I don't know.
You are my little sweetheart. You know that. No, I'm joking. But women know that. The way, even like tough guys, like that's your wife. You know, they know that. They've seen those sides of you. Let me ask you this, if I may. Sorry to not. Were you done telling that part? I don't want to cut you off. I want to ask you something about that. So, arranged marriage. I'm following the details. Are you describing yourself as out of a fallen state in that marriage?
Yeah, definitely.
And this is I really just want to know. I'm not even thinking of anything. Anyway, no need to preface. Let me just ask you.
Yep.
So you're saying you're out of the fallen state in that marriage, and what you're describing makes so much sense, though. It's the nature of the woman. Of course, she's going to go against you in that way, especially if you're working on yourself, especially if you're overcoming the ego, because that's her will. That's how she gets her will. That being said, talking about your situation, why, if you were out of the fallen state, etc., were you unable to endure and endure her you don't love me, blah 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 crap?
Right. So great question.
No, that was a question.
So
sorry, you set me up for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that question. It wasn't that I wasn't able to endure. She just left all of the out of the blue.
Oh,
just had her stuff packed, came home from work, she was gone.
Interesting. Wow, man.
She was just left.
Wow. Yeah, I mean that's.
It can endure definitely, and I think that she called into Jesse, so I definitely thought that like we'll be fine because we both want to go within and really just be aware, be more aware, be more conscious and more present. So I thought. And then one day she wasn't there. So I never got to talk to her parents, talk to her father about it, call him up and say, hey, what's going on with your daughter? We were married. Nothing.
Do you think you would have been able to endure?
Oh no.
I guess I'm asking you shoulda, coulda, wouldas, which may not be fair, but
yeah.
But go ahead and respond if you wish.
I'll say this: we ended up having trying to have some babies right away because I was desperate. So I was just like, okay, you're here, let's have some babies. So she was pregnant,
let's go.
And then she had an abortion right when she left. So she was like. I messaged her and I was like, yo, what are you going to do about the baby? She's like, yo, I'm going to get an abortion, blah, 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 blah.
Wow.
So, like, so what that told
did you
me
want,
was,
did you want that?
I had to? No, absolutely not. Nope.
Wow.
Nope. I'd rather go through the hell of the woman just trying to put me on child support or something like that. Because that's just a wrong that I just don't necessarily think it should ever be done, in my opinion. Yeah. So, but yeah, that was, so I probably would have not have been able to endure that hell because what that showed me was there was a level of hell in her that I probably wasn't going to be able to deal well with. I probably would have, I think I would have thought that I wasn't. So actually, I renege on what you first asked. Was I out of the fallen state? No, I picked her in the fallen state. I came out in January.
I understand what you're saying, man. I hear a lot of calls like that, and the men and people who just find themselves in a marriage and then they have a chance to overcome and all that. And I even hear of the man and the woman doing it, and that obviously is a beautiful story in a sense, I guess. But hey, that's life, man, and that's I do appreciate you telling it. I hope people are, I guess, reflected, man. Leo, anything else you want to say about this? I don't want to cut you off here.
Yeah, I just will conclude with saying that that men are getting a bad rap. For men that are trying to be sons of God are now getting a bad rap, and I just want the men to be aware of what's going on in the world and what the evil is trying to do to you. It's trying to set you up to be weak, and it's filled with mama spirit, and I realize that now, and so now I'm going to stand firm on the beliefs that are necessary, the necessary beliefs, like taking care of your woman, being kind to her, making sure she's a helper to you and not a partner to you. So that's it.
All right, Leo, well, call me again.
I will.
888-775-3773. Appreciate that. You can call me if you wish. Talk to the anchor, baby. You know, I'm not saying arranged marriages, you should just endorse it. I'm not saying what you should do in your life. I just thought it was a fine question for our caller there. Why didn't you endure? Because that's a question we should ask ourselves all the time, no? Why didn't we endure in all things, in your marriage, in whatever you're going through in life? But I'm not telling you what you should do and that you should stay in your marriage and endure. Nick said, why didn't you endure? I don't know what you're doing in your life. Hey, figure it out. I don't know if God put your marriage together. Time to figure yourself, time to understand yourself maybe, huh? And then you may know others. By the way, side note, that's my answer for the biblical question. Can you know someone? Isn't that the biblical question? Yeah, totally. You can know someone because you know yourself, right? And that doesn't mean, that's just my answer. Who knows? I'll think about it. I'll try and think about it. I'm not going to ego and think this is the answer. But look, if you know yourself, you kind of understand everybody. And I'm not saying I know myself totally, but when I say know, you'll know others because you know yourself, I don't mean like the way girls do. Well, they'll say all these things they love about you. They'll say all these things that are amazing about you and love about you while inside feeling and thinking something else. And they'll do it with a smile. So that's not what I mean about knowing somebody. I mean, like when you know how people are, you know why you lie. You know why you like thrills, why you like to look a certain way and posture and all these things. When you understand those things about yourself, you see it in others. And then you don't want to change them because you understand. And you'll know them in a sense. So yeah, you can know people sort of, but not how people think. Because people think that who they are is what the things they like, the things they do, the things they think. And they think your personality is you. And that's what women are saying when they say that. I know you and I love you. And they don't even know what they're talking about because they're feeling and thinking a different thing while saying another. But that's my thoughts on that. We got another caller, I think. Hold on. Let's get to Jaime out of Minnesota. Appreciate your call. You're on the air.
Hey, is this the African BB show?
The African BB show? Where are you getting that from?
I call the African BB.
I don't know where you're getting that from, but I like it. I don't know, but I like it. I'm feeling like I want to do a Zulu style show.
Sure. Hey, women, am I right?
Can't live with them, can't live without them. What do they say?
That's right. Hey, I was talking to my wife about what you guys are talking about, and she says there's some YouTubers that are talking about how women do want to be obedient and stay at home and do homeschooling. So there are some.
Yeah, I think so. I hear about them.
But I think the feminists, they get more airtime. You know what I mean?
Big time. Even the conservative feminists.
Oh, yeah. Feminist is a feminist.
Right, big time. I say conservative because they say they call themselves conservative, but they're really feminists.
Yeah, it's a trick. But this Japanese AI girlfriend thing. I don't know if you knew this, but when they dropped those bombs on Nagasaki and Hiroshima,
right,
the radiation got into their blood, the Japanese peoples, and the only thing that could help them out with that was blood transfusions. So some people got blood transfusions and then they didn't get as sick, radiation sickness. But a lot of people, didn't get blood transfusions. So that's kind of, I think that might be kind of one of the reasons that Japanese people are so weird You know,
I feel like I have to maybe disavow something like this. But hold on, let's not get too, look, let me present to you something, folks. If you could just give me some patience, a little patience, Jaime. If you could turn your attention to the screen, folks. Look, if you have children around you, maybe you don't want to look at this, but it's not nasty. What you're seeing on your screen in a moment here is women's underwear in a vending machine, okay? Listen to what Jaime is saying. He's saying radiation. He's saying radiation has hurt the Japanese people, and I'm presenting you a picture. I don't know what you want to conclude from that, but we're just joking around. We're messing around.
Right.
I don't know about all that. I get what you're saying. I see some pretty nasty stuff in America. You know, did we get any radiation bombs? It's funny to see that, though. I talked to Bill about this, about the intricacies of Japanese perversion, and they're like into like the little kids. I don't want to misquote him, but he was kind of making this conclusion that over here we got the like out of control like gay and trans stuff, and in Japan they have like this little kid stuff. I don't want to be too judgmental here with speaking out of turn here with not, out of ignorance, but yeah, that's something Bill said. The different flavors of degeneracy.
And so I don't know if you also knew this, but after that World War II, Japan wasn't allowed to have their own military. So
that's true.
They had Americans there. The American military was stationed there because Japan wasn't allowed to have a military for the longest time.
Correct.
But also they were forced to give really good deals to Americans on things, on products and stuff, and give bad deals to the Japanese people themselves. So like a TV that costs $20 here in America costs $200 in Japan.
Do you know
stuff like that?
Yeah. Wow.
So, all this kind of stuff would make a people's act goofy. They've had a lot of trauma is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, over years. Look,
Yeah.
I'll say this, adding to what you're saying about not having a military and all that, the part that's significant for me in America's involvement with Japan after the World War II is that decades later, it seems like we can see almost a pseudo-American philosophy devoid of any, a truly secularized American philosophy played out in Japan. Do you understand what I'm saying here? Because America went in, they had the Shinto directive in 1945. They banned Shinto. They banned like Japanese culture in a sense, in my opinion. And they had this really kind of, that's where these roots, these Americans, but really deeply secular Western roots kind of took hold. And we're seeing kind of the fruits of that, in my opinion. And that's why Japan is going through similar problems like America. Perversion, women not wanting to be in their roles, the breakdown of the family, and the birth rates.
Right. And, the weak men, they're going to fall for the AI girlfriend thing. The really...
Where are the strong men?
The strong men won't.
Yeah, but where are they?
They won't. They're right here. I'm married. I married a real woman.
I know a lot of married men, and I wouldn't call them strong. And I'm not saying, I'm just saying, look.
Well,
just marriage doesn't make you strong.
I guess I can see what you're saying. But it's like, okay, here's the thing. With the OnlyFans women, the people that are paying these women, they use credit cards to pay these women god-awful amounts of money. And then they steal credit cards from their parents or from their family and run those credit cards up. And it's like this. Those are extremely immoral men. Weak. That's what I mean by weak, is immoral. A lot of men, they ain't going to steal from family.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by weak.
You're saying there's
immoral.
okay, I got you. You're saying there's like a subset of these OnlyFans subscribers who are actually using their parents' credit cards and all that.
Yeah,
what a mess.
I've seen it in
That's probably happening. I think the overwhelming majority is just guys with some money. They have a job and they're paying these women. I think it's just that's the overwhelming majority.
There's investigation.
But yeah, I bet you there is. Appreciate that, Jaime. Anything else you want? Go ahead. You were saying last thing you wanted to say before we move the wheels?
There's a subset of perverted people that will go for this AI thing. But the feminist women, they're wrong in making fun of them, you know?
Wait, can you say that again?
These feminist women, they're wrong for making fun of these weak men.
I just think they don't understand them.
Yeah.
But, yeah, making fun is not necessarily bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Right on, Jaime.
Good show.
Thank you, sir. Call me again.
Bye-bye.
888-775-3773. Okay. Beautiful. Let's see what the people are saying before we get into some of this mess here. Look, we'll get into some more stuff. Give me just one moment as I check up on some things here. Everyone who was supporting on Friday, thank you. I hope I got to everybody, but I didn't miss anybody. What's up, Robert? What's up, Old Saucy over there on rumble.com/American Anchor Baby, DLive.tv/Gorgonzola, 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎, GG Cash. How you doing, GMD Jim? Hake Report, Coffee Talk with Sandra. Very supportive. You know you were in the Ballers Lounge, right? If I did not mention my top contributors, GMD Jim, Hake Report, and Coffee Talk with Sandra enjoy a permanent, they're top contributors, so they enjoy a permanent seat in the Ballers Lounge. You don't want to miss it on Fridays. It's fun. Okay. All this talk about babies. 888-775-3773. They call it far right. They're saying even this call with Jaime even is far right. The far right is obsessed with making babies, says Politico. They just held a whole conference about it. Natal Con, they're calling it. Natal Con. The Natal Convention. Natal Con. Politico is reporting on Natal Con. And they went behind the scenes and all that. The far right's campaign to explode the population. Wait a second, shouldn't you be excited? We love the family, right, Politico? Right? Thanks, Lil Nick. The far right's campaign to explode the population behind the scenes at the first Natal conference, where a motley alliance is throwing out the idea of winning converts to their cause and trying to make their own instead. And hey, we appreciate a little bit of attention on this, no? But call me cynical, but I want what you want, right? Pro-marriage, pro-family. I'm like you. But okay, maybe you're a little annoyed with me. Call me cynical, but I'm looking into this because I want to see, did the women take over this too? Did they take over this one too? Winning converts to their cause. The threat, we are told here this weekend, is existential, biological, epoch-defining. I'm reading the Political article. Economies will fail, civilizations will fall, and it will all happen because people aren't having enough babies. The entire global financial system, the value of your money, every asset, which means its value depends on growth. Kevin Dolan, a 37-year-old father of 6, tells the crowd that has gathered to hear him speak. Every country in the developed world and most countries in the developing world face long-term population decline at a level that makes growth impossible to maintain, Dolan says, which means we are sitting on the bubble of all bubbles. Despite this grim prognosis, the mood is optimistic. Early December, a few weeks before Christmas, 100-odd people have flocked to Austin for the first Natal conference. And they're here with solutions. Though relatively small, NatalCon has attracted attendees who are almost intensely dedicated to the cause of raising the U.S. birth rate. Did Elon Musk arrive? I know Elon Musk has put a lot of attention into that. The broader natalist movement has been gaining momentum lately. where anxieties over falling birth rates have converged. Oh, look, they mentioned Elon Musk. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban amongst its proponents. Natalism is often about more than raising birth rates. So, Politico reports on NatoCon's emphasis on childbirth, and how there are very few women in the cavernous conference room of the Line Hotel. The mostly male audience includes people of all ages, many of whom are childless themselves. Some of the women in attendance, however, have come to Austin with their children in tow, a visual representation of the desired outcome. Well, okay, Politico. But isn't that always an interesting thing brought up in the people commenting about this? They're like, okay, well, many are childless. They don't have children. They're not out there making the babies. That still means we got to talk about it, though. That still means we got to see why. So, NatoCon, they're having NatoCon. Where was I? And, hold on. They're saying they got solutions. So this Politico has various reasons here. In recent years, various factions of the old and new right have coalesced around the idea that babies might be the cure. It's not a new argument. Natalists made similar claims in the early 20th century when urbanization drove birth rates down and European immigration kept the U.S. population afloat. You know, I said about immigration and that argument about keeping the country going. We talked about Japan and their failures. They are too considering mass immigration and all that to keep certain things going. Am I crazy in saying this? Is there something I'm not understanding when I say this? Is a shrinking an option? Is that an option? Is just okay? Let's just do with less. Let's not bring in all these people to prop up the American economy so that we can still be number one. Let's just do it less, shrink a little, and then work on doing it right. Because doing it the right way is going to cost a little bit. We're not going to have the cheap labor. We're not going to have all the things that we've been using to prop up stuff. So a little bit of pain and shrinking so for greater things ahead. Am I crazy? Is that an option? Is there an off-ramp on this? Is there an off-ramp on this insane train? Inflation and birth rates. So we got to keep bringing them in. Keep the Ponzi scheme going. Is there? Mena. What's up, Mena? So let me finish this up here. And then we'll get back to calls. 888-775-3773. So Politico just reports on what this conference is talking about and their conclusions. They're talking about the potential economic consequences of a global birth decline. He and the other speakers are not concerned with the utilitarian arguments for raising birth rates. I'm not trying to have grandkids so they can fund Medicare, Dolan says. We're here because we agree that people are beautiful, life is beautiful, and that it should go on. Hey, that's kind of what I'm saying about shrinking. Okay, anyways, let's move on, because now we're just talking about nothing. Gabriel, or should I say, could it be? And don't get excited over this. Is this Jabril? Jabril out of Canada?
One and only. Hi, Nick.
How you doing, sir? Appreciate you calling.
Doing all is well. Nick, I just wanted to share how in my culture a man looks for a wife.
Interesting.
If I may.
Please.
Yeah, so in our culture, man is being taught from the very beginning that when he is looking for a wife, he first needs to look at the family, if there's a strong father. Second, if the father is not there, we need to look if she has any brothers. It's unfortunate for a woman that has no father, no brothers, because that's like 50-50. Guys has to take a lottery. But, yeah, and I had a personal experience in my life. My sister married, right? And I'm not going to dox, no names, no nothing. But after, like, some years into marriage, there was an issue. So husband calls me. says, "Can you come?" I'm like, "What happened?" He's like, "I have like problems. Like, can you speak to your sister?" So I come there and I see like emotions, and I ask my sister, I'm like, "Do you have roof over your head?" She's like, "Yes." I said, "Do you have food to eat?" She's like, "Yes." "Do you have clothing?" She's like, "Yes." And I ask her, "What do you want?" And I swear, Nick, she was just blinking into me, and she had nothing else to say. She was frozen.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I'm like, "Stop listening to mom," because my father passed away. I said, "You cannot use mom as an example for marriage. Her husband passed away. Okay, look at the people who live into their 90s, together still, husband and wife. Ask them." And then and I'm telling you, years pass by, and whenever I have a chance to speak to my brother-in-law, like one-on-one, he brings that moment and he says, "You saved my marriage, man."
That's so interesting.
Down,
That's so interesting. I don't know if maybe, do you think, is it cultural, you think? Because I don't know many guys who would, I guess, do that. Hey, go to the brother-in-law and say, "Hey, you got to can you talk to your sister, my wife here? She's out of control."
Well, that's how we
is
are
it cultural,
raised,
you think?
like
What do you
family.
think that?
We stick together. Yeah.
But anyways,
well, I mean,
on that as well. Sorry, you were about to say?
No, I'm just saying, like, like women, they, the way God made them is that they naturally want to follow the man. First is their father, then there's a brother, and then there's a husband when husband takes over, right? In our culture, when woman leaves, she leaves into another family. She can still have her family, but her husband has nothing to do with her family. It's like for herself. She goes into a different family. She carries children for a man, right?
Mm-hmm.
She builds his family. So we're very strong about that. I think it's just, if not family that can affect your you, then who, right? The government or who? Like it's a very sensitive thing.
Let me ask, did she ever answer you? Did she ever answer you, "What do you want"?
Me.
Did she ever? No, but when you asked her, "What is it you want?" You have you got a roof, blah blah blah. What is it?
Yeah.
Did she ever give you a response? By the way, out of curiosity, did she ever say anything?
She couldn't. She tried. She was just blinking, looking back and forth, like because there's that moment, when you get the person out of delusion, and they don't even look woman. Sometimes when they lose control, they don't even know why, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because under the spirit. And then when you bring them back and you say, "What else do you want?" And she literally had nothing to say. And then she kind of understood her. I asked him, "Do you give her presents?" He's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Stop doing that." My sister, wait, what are you talking about? I'm like, "You've been spoiled."
Right, that's enough of that.
Yeah. And then since then, he says no problems at all. And she loves now, whenever he invites friends, she's like, "We'll cook for them." They're like, "Thank you." Because in our culture, man, you know how it works?
Mm.
When friends come, another man, and they see that the wife prepared food and stuff, they say, "Man, they raised the guy." They're like, "Look at him, like look at his wife." It's a respect. And then when, he says to his wife, "Thank you," he feels special, They love that stuff.
That's interesting. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the Mexicans are like that too. If you're at a party and your woman doesn't fix you a plate, it's like, dude, you had to fix your own plate? What the?
Yeah. No, but the idea here is just when she knows her role, home role, she raises the man in the eyes of another man, and just overall the whole family, everybody benefits. Again, it all comes down, husband and wife, they need to know their roles. Try to watch less those TV shows, where the old garbage comes in and all this evil
yeah,
ideas.
big time.
Yeah, and that's it. Life is super simple, Nick. Women know that, men know that, they're just distracted.
Thank you, Jabril.
No
Appreciate
problem.
that, sir. Anything else you want to say before we move the wheels here?
No, you guys doing a great job. I love tuning into it. Even when I went to Cuba to rest, I couldn't wait till I tune in and
Nice, man. Thank you. Right on, sir. Well, appreciate the support. Call me again.
No problem. Mm-hmm. Bye.
Ooh, he was trying. He was. I cut it. He said one bye, and I pressed the button. There's two byes at a bye. You know that. It's bye. Appreciate that, 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎. Beautiful stuff. But look, you want to call me 888-775-3773. You want to call me and tell me, Nick, you hate women? Call me 888-775-3773. Nick, you said this is stupid. This is wrong. Call me 888-775-3773. But I don't want you to call me. I don't want you to call me.
Right movie. It is an organized.
Hold on. I don't want you to call me and tell me. Call me and tell me I hate women after watching this video. And tell me I can't be saying the things I'm saying. Call me and tell me that, and see if you still have the I don't know, gumption, whatever, after this video.
Everyone is living on edge right now, and we need to do something about it. We cannot continue ignoring that this is a small minority of far-right movie. It is an organized terrorist group of people who want to harm immigrants in this country, and we have to take action now. We can't keep on calling them a small, dangerous group of people, because it is an organized group of people who are radicalizing young people and encouraging them to go and harm others who are just living peacefully, who wants to live a peaceful life in this country.
In this country of Nigeria, is what she's going to say, right? Right? Or something like that, right? They will just want to live peaceful in this country of Ghana. That's what she's going to say, right? No, this is the mayor. This is Lillian Sinoy Barr. You are hearing Lillian Sinoy Barr, set to make history as Derry mayor. We're talking about Derry, officially Londonderry, the largest city in the county of Londonderry in Northern Ireland, okay? That's where we are. You're here. This is where you are. Sorry, I shouldn't be looking at chat right now. Derry, London, Northern Ireland. Derry, Northern Ireland. The fifth largest, it is the largest city in this county. Fifth largest on the island of Ireland. The old walled city lies on the west bank of the River Foyle. And this woman is, by the way, if you didn't know, making history, becoming Northern Ireland's first black mayor. So she was selected by the party to become the next first citizen of Derry City. And so, I'm just showing you this. I'm showing you this lady who seems to be parroting an old tired refrain here, which is even working over there in Ireland. I know it's been working. I've seen the clips on the Hake Report. I've seen the mess, but this is a sign of it. You get me? It's going down, and the second she gets power, the second she gets a lick of power, it's white people. They are extremists. These immigrants just want to live in Ireland. After the government flooded Derry, Ireland with refugees, the new African mayor of Derry says Irish patriots are terrorists and that she must take action now. The second she got some power, but we will fail to understand and we'll fail to really understand what's going on if we discount this part. How do you explain this? Selected by the party. How do we explain that? So call me and tell me I'm overreacting. Check this out. Hold up. Hold up. Anyways, look, you get it. Women selected. Where were we? 888-775-3773. I don't know if you get what I'm saying, or if you've seen any of the clips of, maybe I'm not making it clear, but I wouldn't call the Irish people who are bringing up all these concerns with the immigrants, I wouldn't call them extreme. I wouldn't call them extremists, but the whole world is marching along towards that. They're popping up everywhere in all the Western countries, saying the same things, and telling you, and increasingly making the normal things extreme, far right. Like I showed you a moment ago, having babies is far right. Wanting to all these things, right? Maintain a strong national identity and populace, and to avoid that being subverted by immigration, etc. I wouldn't call that far right, or maybe it is. I don't know. Then awesome, I'm far right then. But look, I just wouldn't call it extreme. I wouldn't call it a negative thing. Thomas Massey. I know he's getting a lot of attention on Twitter. He's the guy, he's the U.S. representative out of, wait, hold up. Thomas Massey, who are you representing? Member of the Republican Party. He's the representative for Kentucky's 4th Congressional District since 2012. He's this representative who's been getting like some spicy attention on Twitter for him, calling out AIPAC and funding and money towards Israel and stuff like that. And he's making some noise about this. He wants the people to know that there's a bipartisan effort in Congress, according to Thomas Massey here on his Twitter, to equate criticisms of the secular state of Israel to violence towards Jewish people in America. The latter is illegal and the former is protected speech. But if a false equivalency is established, it will be forbidden to criticize Israel. Okay. And, wait, why did I bring this up? I'm almost forgetting why I bring this up. It was interesting. I feel like Joe Biden today. Where was I? My notes are a mess. Someone was making a comment about this, about my show, by the way. I haven't incorporated your comments in just quite yet, but this is probably exactly what you're talking about. Thomas Massey, oh, yeah. They're calling these extremists. They're calling them extreme, these people who just want to defend Ireland. Okay? They're calling them extreme. And I forget the point that I was going to make in connection with this, folks. What a mess. Call me Joe Biden. Let's move on. Thanks, Lil Nick. Appreciate that. 888-775-3773. Let's get into something else. Something different, maybe. The dams in Kenya falling apart. You seen this? It's amazing what people could do to subdue the earth using engineering, right? Dams. You get it. They're falling apart in Kenya, basically. 44 people killed when a dam burst. Havoc in the villages of Mai Mahiu, according to the BBC. Amazing. Watch.
A dam collapsed following torrential rainfall. Let's take you to 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎, who is there for us live. Barbara, what is happening there? What are you hearing? What's the situation?
Lucy, just extraordinary damage. I mean, the water, what happened was a dam burst, and this rush of water came through this town in the middle of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning. So it cut this swathe right through town, gouging out this valley, as you could see, felling trees, sweeping away houses, and many people as well. I spoke to a man earlier who said when he woke up, he could hear the sound of water. I said, well, what did it sound like? He said it was sort of like a roar, and he got his family out of their house in time, but around 50 of the families where he was living lost their homes, and some of them were taken away by the floods. He said he was able to rescue one little boy, but they're still looking for others who are missing, and around at least 45 people have been killed. And it's part of the heavy rains we've been having in Kenya and other parts of East Africa in the past month.
So that's what's going on, a little bit of that. I want you to see the dam. What a mess, jeez. I want you to see the dam as it spills, the power of nature here in a moment. So all that's just like freaking water. I mean, I'm just amazed, okay? Engineering, and when this stuff bursts, it's like a massive amount of water. When downstream, it's way worse, the effects of what happens. Okay, so that's what's going on. And it's amazing. I just found this interesting. You know, you hear about this on CNN. And I look it up. I'm looking up the dams. Masinga, the Masinga hydroelectric power plant. I'm looking up, you know, exactly where they are, okay? And I'm looking who developed them and all that. The Masinga hydroelectric power station. Feats of engineering. It's just amazing to see. They use this to divert water, to gather energy in the hydroelectric stations. And I'm trying to show you a picture of it. Here it is. Boom. Here's one of them. The Masinga. Masinga! You're like, dang, what? Now, why are they falling apart? The French Development Agency, you look into it and you find out that the Kenyans had a lot of help here. You know, the French Development Agency were the people who really built this. So with the help of the French, or the French Development Agency, the Kenyans were able to have the Masinga hydroelectric power station. But what's truly a shame, I guess, in a sense, is that this is just one. You're hearing about these dams and stuff overflowing. It's actually just one of many. One of many that are all in a line. And all these different hydroelectric stations are all failing. So it's actually a way bigger problem than I think, in my opinion, than CNN is making it seem like, or whatever. So who cares, right? It's over there. That's what they're dealing with. But I do find it an interesting conversation. The help of the nations to Africa, etc., and the emptiness of those ideals, the failure of those agendas and motivations to help, to teach, to leave behind better things or whatever. And I don't know if that's ever worked. I don't know anybody. I can't really think of anybody I know who was given something and helped, in a sense, helped because they were in a rough spot. I don't know anyone who was comforted in those situations that benefited. But whatever. What do I know about the Kenyan stuff specifically? Like, there's corruption and all that. But I find this topic interesting because I look into this Kenyan stuff and everybody's saying, the people at least that I see commenting on this are saying, oh, it's the corrupted government. The government's just so corrupt. If only the Kenyans just didn't have a corrupt government. If only they didn't have a corrupt government. I can't help but think, though, that this is I can't help but come back to this conclusion I've made before of the people and the government being a mirror to each other. You can't say that all these people are coming in from ish whole countries, which they are, and then not blame them for their own government. Do you see what I'm saying? And so that's just something I was thinking about. The people and the government, I mean, they're really one and the same. So it's just an interesting thing on the world, how it tries to help, Africa being one of those examples that is easier to point out, I guess. Aid and all that really hasn't helped. But anyways, Kenyans, hey, the dams are bursting. I don't know. Google it. Can we Google how to? Is that Googleable? How to build a dam? Is that like information that's just available now? I know I sound stupid. Like, oh, just you're telling these Kenyans to just Google it. It's better than nothing, no? Anyways, whatever. 888-775-3773. Oh, man. Call the anchor baby here. But whatever you want to talk about. Incredible. Feels like a good time to remind people that the medical profession has never been less capable of taking care of you. And that's saying something. Take control of your life, take responsibility for your health, and protect your loved ones. Things will work out a lot better, says Raw Egg Nationalist on Twitter. And he's commenting on something that's got the people commenting on Twitter. This video here of someone in the medical industry. They're saying that this person got in with 5 C's and a 3.3 grade point average. Where are my doctors in the chat? Doctors listen to the anchor baby, right? Where are my doctors? Where are my medical professionals? Is a 3.0, because I don't know, is 3.3 GPA and 5 C's, should I be worried if my nurse and or doctor, if that's the standard that they are accepted into medical school? Let me know. Because End Wokeness is saying this is not good, not looking good. And it's a TikTok here of some lady, looks like a young lady saying, responding to the comment, you can't get into medical schools with 5 C's and a 3.3 grade point average. Oh yeah? Well, It's Life by Maggie wants you to know that she's been accepted into 10. She's been accepted into 10 of them. That's what It's Life by Maggie wants you to know. And so her little video on that is going viral. And they're telling you to watch out. Dang, I could have been a doctor. People in my chat. Anyways, you get it. DEI. Look, you get that point, obviously. Now, I don't know about the intricacies of the medical stuff. Maybe that was just before, and now she's smarter. Right? Don't be judging. I do wonder, though. I say a similar thing about Boeing and planes. You're seeing DEI and all that, and doors falling off of planes and all that, and you're thinking, I shouldn't fly anymore, right? Well, I don't know if that's necessarily true quite yet. We're just seeing with the writing on the wall of what's coming. But so far, planes are still safer. They're still the safest way to travel, as they say. What will medicine be in a couple of years, right? Things I'm thinking about. You know what else I've been thinking about, though, on health? A little thread by Cernovich here, and we're going to get into here in a second. But look, apparently she's not an outlier. This is normal. The percentage of Asians who are accepted with these credentials, with these exact same credentials. So this is information coming out of Association of American Medical Colleges. So when looking at the people accepted into medical school with the grades that this woman said that she got, Percentage of Asians who are accepted with these credentials, 6%. Whites, 8%. So only 6% of Asians who had her scores are accepted. But she's getting accepted by 10 different medical schools. If you want to see the stats on that. Association of American Medical Colleges on the screen now. I'm seeing people in my chat saying, get an Asian doctor, probably. Get an Asian doctor, says my chat. I mean, how are we supposed to take this? It's not love to black people or underachievers. It's not love to them. It's not love to everybody else. How are we supposed to understand this? How are we supposed to make sense of this? Oh, well, you ask the people who are into restructuring a society due to racial grievances. They'll tell you, well, you have to because it's justice. It's a just thing to do. But then if so, then aren't we agreeing on one fundamental thing here? We just disagreeing on how to deal with it. We're agreeing that they're underachieving, that they are not. They can't do the job description. Aren't we agreeing on that? Huh? So how are we supposed to understand this? Is this supposed to be love? Is this supposed to be excellence? I mean, empirically, logically, I think in this moment, we are concluding it's none of those things. So it's feeling bad. So it's female feeling bad. Is that what you're telling me? Anyways. 888-775-3773. I saw somebody there. Apologies. I'll get to you. Ask an Asian doctor how long you have to live. About 15, 20 minutes. That's funny, Carver. Nick, no need to worry. The market will sort it out. I think we just got to be watching. I think we get what we pay for now increasingly. And it's going to be more like these foreign countries where you get what you paid for and there'll be a huge disparity in who gets what service, who gets what quality of food and service. Like in some of these countries like Mexico. It's like all these people coming in and this country is turning like the country they're coming from. What? 888-775-3773. Not sure if you were trying to call in there. But, yeah. Lines are open. Let's see here. Folks. What else did I want to get into? Oh, yeah. We're talking about health here. This was also on my mind. Prison. Men in prison. Here's a fascinating thread. Mike Cernovich on Twitter, who I'm now seeing got community notes on Twitter, so he may be incorrect here. But he's talking about men in prison, okay? He says, blue light all day, little sunshine, microplastics everywhere, seed oils, noodles, low-grade protein, and they are healthier than most free people, or so-called biohackers. They get 2 workouts a day, lots of sleep. No one wants that conversation. It's too simple. And he got community notes on this. Hold up. Because you got a lot of people talking with this one. Incorrect, says community notes. The health of prison inmates is worse than the general population on virtually every metric. Dang, community notes. Never mind. I guess we don't need to talk about this. Compared to the general population, people of both sexes who are incarcerated are more likely to have high blood pressure, asthma, cancer, and arthritis. Whew, all right, dang, there goes that segment. Not that it was going to be informative. incarceration, about this literature. So yeah, they got this information out of health.gov. So take that with a grain of salt. We're going to get to calls here, though. We got Flor out of Guatemala. Appreciate your call. You're on the air.
Hi, Nick. How are you?
All is well. Thank you.
That's awesome. Nick, I just started watching your show. I couldn't watch it earlier, but I wanted to tell you about a story that just happened 2 weeks ago. I am a medical interpreter for the hospitals in the U.S. So I'm like live translating everything that is going on between a doctor and a patient.
For those who have like language barriers?
What was that?
For those who have language barriers?
Exactly. So the patient doesn't speak English and the doctor doesn't speak Spanish, and I basically translate for both of them.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but 2 weeks ago, I never heard of this before, and I thought it was funny, but it's not funny that it's just like, how could this even happen, you know? This lady, this Hispanic lady, is getting out of surgery. She's just waking up for anesthesia. One, the nurses keep explaining this lady what just happened, and she has no clue what's going on because she just woke up from anesthesia. She had no idea what was going on. And the doctor made a pretty big mistake. The doctor tells this Hispanic lady that she has a tumor on her back, a mass, right?
Gotcha.
And what they do is they open up her back, and they have to do an ultrasound before they do the surgery to know where the mass is at, right? And it turns out she never had a tumor. She never had a mass. So she just got her back open for nothing. And then they are telling you this as a patient. They're telling you that they made a mistake while you're under anesthesia. And even the nurses on the background were like, she's not going to remember anything. She's not going to remember any. Yeah, those were her words. And I was just like, you just put somebody under general anesthesia. You're telling this person she was probably scared to death that she probably had cancer. You open up her back, and then you tell her, oh, by the way, there is no mass. I made a mistake.
They were just mistaken. That's all it was.
Yeah.
How'd they make that kind of mistake?
I don't know. Like, they realized they made the mistake at the moment that they were doing the ultrasound. And the ultrasound is done right before they go into the area to see where the tumor is at, right? But for my experience, from what I have heard in the hospitals, you're supposed to get a CAT scan, an MRI, an ultrasound, all that before the surgery, right? But this lady, her back was already open up, you know, in the middle. Like, they were just looking for that mass. And I was just like, is this really happening? Because I've been doing this for 5 years. And on the 5 years, I have called into Hake, and I always tell him that, like, it's incredible the change that is being after COVID. Like, after COVID, nurses became more rude, more uneducated.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, they have just no patience whatsoever. And doctors have become so incompetent. It's ridiculous. Like, they don't even bother anymore to look into people's issues. They're just kind of guessing around like, oh, is this? Because they read it in some book and it matches the symptoms. So I think it's this. Or they just try to get rid of the patients quickly, you know, like just yesterday I was doing some extra time. And I was like, oh, I'm going to see how the hospitals are doing this weekend. And because it was the weekend, doctors at the ER were full, right? So they don't really care, even if what type of illness you come in with. They just guess what you have and they send you back home. And then you have the same patient coming back 2 weeks later with worse symptoms. It's just incredible. The medical field is terrible now.
I hear things like that. I don't know too much info, but hey, sounds like you're in it, and I appreciate that. I've always thought, and I wonder if maybe it wasn't always like this in America, but I feel like you just got to watch out for your own health. Even a doctor, like if you maybe at one time you could trust experts and professionals, but
Yeah,
I learned to
Mm-hmm.
you are the master of your life. That's how I see things. Even you could take the doctor's helping, but they don't care about your life like you do, I guess.
Oh, definitely. They're doing this just for a job. And I think that there is also been a shortage of doctors. The other day I was listening to a call from Hague from this lady that went through a very terrible thing.
Mm-hmm.
And she was saying that they couldn't see her at that hospital. And she had a very bad emergency need, and that she needed to get transferred to another hospital. But as I was listening to the call, she wouldn't really give out the reason why they asked her to go to another hospital. She was like, I don't know. But The thing is that there are certain doctors, when you're a surgeon, it's not like you're a general surgeon, right? Like you can just do any surgery. Like there's a specialty surgeon for special occasions, let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And for the specialty doctor that she needed, for the surgeon that she needed, I bet you they didn't have it in that hospital that she was at. And that's an issue, that there is a shortage of specialty doctors as well. So they're opaque. Like, for example, I think it's not OBGYNs, but I can't remember what type of doctor is very, very needed right now. And
is OBGYN a doctor for female stuff?
Yeah, exactly. But there are doctors now that patients are calling in and they don't have appointments until December. A liver doctor, that's the name, the liver doctor. And people are calling in and it's like, we don't have appointments until December. And this person, these people usually, a liver problem is very serious. And they just kind of let them, they're like, well, you can call your insurance and find somebody else. And the patient is like, well, I already called in my insurance and this is the only option that I have. And now you're telling me that you guys won't have appointments until December. But it makes sense. You know why, Nick? Because since they're giving out Medicare and Medicaid like they're nothing to all these illegal people, now they have so many patients and they don't have enough doctors.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, Flor. Hey, AI, don't worry, AI will replace them.
No, don't say that because AI probably could never replace my job too.
Learn how to use the AI so that, I don't know, you could be the bridge. You could there'll still be jobs for those who know how to use the AI versus the people who still haven't learned. And then you'll be old.
One more thing. I have a bone to pick with you.
All right, hit me.
I have a bone to pick with you.
Nice.
You said, I can't remember when, but it was like 2 or 3 months ago. You were saying that spicy food was like for poor people in Latin America.
I got a theory. No, don't slander. No. Help me here. Let me lay it out. It's a conspiracy, and I call it a conspiracy because I don't even have good evidence for it. But it's just a theory. It's a conspiracy. Look, obviously we enjoy spicy food. Today there's many delectable spicy treats that we all love and enjoy. But this is my theory. This is a theory. I wasn't saying that it was for poor. I guess I was saying it was for poor people. But look, it's like if we take human history more in the thousands of years scope as opposed to the spicy, delicious treats we have today, my theory is this. I think man, to make food that wasn't exactly totally edible, to make it a little bit more edible and palatable, they drenched it in spice. And I'm thinking of I'm thinking of some of these old Asian dishes, these old Mexican dishes. I'm thinking of these old traditional dishes that are not that are I think personally, for example, think about you're a Guatemalan?
Yeah.
Do you know what menudo is? You know what menudo is?
Yeah. We have menudo here too.
Menudo is cow intestines, right?
brain and all
brain
that.
and test. Look, I'm not saying it's disgusting. I've had menudo that's good, but I think we can move on. I think we can move on from the dark times of needing to eat menudo, and we can take some of those flavors and you know, and but I don't think we gotta. I don't think we have to eat. I don't think I need a bowl of soup. I don't think I'm going through such hard times that I need a bowl of soup with a poopy cow hoof in it. I can eat the other parts. Am I crazy? And then I need to drench it in spice to get it down.
I have to disagree with you. You know why? Because actually those parts of the cows are more expensive and more hard to find.
See, this is why I'm saying that it's a total conspiracy. I don't have any evidence.
Yeah.
But that's the conspiracy, is that some of these spicy dishes of some of these cultures are a callback to a time when they were trying to make those parts of the animal more edible. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, but I disagree with the spice in Guatemala and almost all the rest of Latin America. We don't, like, the spicy food is a Mexican thing, and that's, like, one of the misconceptions that I feel from America. Is like, if they think about Latin, they're like Mexico, they're tamales and tacos and stuff, but, like, in Guatemala, our main dishes, they're not as spicy. So
I heard the chili, did it really truly originate in the New World? Like the chili, the spicy chili did not exist. It, like, they found it in the New World in Mexico, in the whatever. I'm going to just say the New World to keep it general, because I don't know. And then they brought it around the world. I could be wrong about this, but I swear I heard that the spicy pepper, the chili, the world was introduced to it when they found it in the New World. The Mexicans were using it, or at least, you know, the Aztecs or whatever they were.
Yeah, I mean, Mexico has, like, a really big fascination from spicy food. They love it, you know, and a lot of Mexicans that come down here, they try out sauce, and we're like, this is really spicy. And they're like, no, this is not as spicy at all.
No, these people are crazy, absolutely.
Yeah, they are crazy. I don't know how they survive in the bathroom, but okay.
Well,
okay.
Last thing you want to say, Flora, before we move the wheels here?
No. It was such a pleasure to talk to you.
Appreciate it. Call me again, Flor.
See ya.
And Flor, I see what you're saying, and I could be wrong. I know it's a conspiracy, but go watch a video of some of these Vietnamese people eating, like, spiders and bats and drenched in chili, and tell me they're really enjoying that, and they're not doing it.
That sounds kind of nice. I'll be down to try that. That sounds kind of nice.
All right, Flor, call me again.
Bye.
Okay. 888-775-3773. We'll try to get to you in the last few minutes, but in the last few minutes, I wanted to talk about RFK and TikTok and all that. Little interesting thing here. You know about it a little bit, maybe. Biden signing this $95 billion war aid measure. All the assistance for Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. None for the border. Doesn't seem like Republicans or Democrats care. And their reasoning is what? Emotions. I guess maybe some of you will say, but Nick, they were attacked. Am I like crazy for thinking American politicians should have priorities? Okay. So the $95 billion in war aid, that's going on. In it was this TikTok ban, if you don't know. The $95 billion war aid measure that includes a provision that would force the social media site TikTok to be sold or banned in the U.S. ByteDance is the company in question, the owners of this TikTok app. And that's essentially the deal. TikTok can continue, but you sell it to us, or it's just gone. Gone skis completely. We delete it. We end it. And so the ball's in ByteDance's court. They're saying they're not down. This is from The Hill. TikTok's Chinese parent company ByteDance said it will not sell the popular video sharing app to continue its business in the U.S., despite facing a potential ban under a law that Biden signed last Wednesday. The bill included in a foreign aid package gives ByteDance up to a year to sell TikTok or be banned from operating in the U.S. The proposal was fueled by national security concerns raised by the supporters, who argued the Chinese government could compel TikTok to share U.S. user data. Scary stuff. It is the latest and most critical threat TikTok has faced in the U.S. yet, but the company is not backing down. They issued a statement dispelling a report that claimed ByteDance was exploring options for selling TikTok. They're saying that's not true. ByteDance does not have any plan to sell TikTok. The Hill reached out and et cetera, et cetera. So they don't want to sell, opening up the door for a complete ban unless the Biden administration decides to not go forward, barring future conversations and deals, who knows. And that's, as you heard from the Hill, the reasoning is national security. You've heard this. It came up with Trump. Came up during the Trump administration as a possibility. It never panned out. But now it's a good thing. Now it's not an evil Trump administration policy or move or whatever. Now it's a good thing. This has to be done. National security. And Trump, no, he's an evil, crazy person. He doesn't know what he's doing. Oh, you gave him the nuclear codes? You gave Trump the nuclear codes? You're really going to give this raving orange idiot the nuclear codes? This guy doesn't have good policies, except maybe this one. Actually, all of a sudden, yeah, he's actually right. The guy who shouldn't have the nuclear codes. So they're saying they got to ban it. They're saying it's for national security. I don't believe it. I don't trust that stuff. They're saying it's... Obviously, I do believe that China's spying, but you're going to tell me, like, America's not? Like, you're telling me who I should be worried more about. I don't know. So far, our own government has shown us to be a bigger threat, in my opinion. I mean, it's all degenerate anyways, right? TikTok, Instagram. So RFK is coming on the stage here with an interesting move here, in my opinion. He's the Kennedy who's running for president, independent presidential candidate. He made some waves. They're saying he's going to split the Democratic vote. I hear Republicans and conservatives who are interested in him. I find him an interesting personality in person, namely for the gravity he brings to the conversation. What am I trying to say? He's just not like your average Democrat, okay? He's talking about the radicalization of the left and et cetera. And he comes out with this TikTok ban stuff. He's saying it's a smokescreen, and he's threatening to challenge it. He's saying, this is from MSN, RFK Jr. threatens to challenge a potential TikTok ban as efforts to block the video app came closer. I'm going to file a lawsuit challenging the TikTok ban on constitutional grounds, Kennedy wrote. Don't be fooled. The TikTok ban is not about China harvesting your data. That's a smokescreen. Intelligence agencies from lots of countries, especially ours, are harvesting your data from everywhere all the time. His comments come just days after President Biden signed a $95 billion national security package. You know about this and the whole ByteDance fiasco. Kennedy here echoed the sentiment that arguing that China doesn't own the majority of TikTok. He added that the company has already agreed to put its data behind a U.S. firewall, but the Biden administration rejected that deal. Isn't that an interesting piece of information? Thanks to RFK, we know some of the inside baseball there. But considering most wouldn't go past headlines and stuff to find that out. And what is that? It's that ByteDance is saying, hey, we'll play ball. You're saying the problem is data? Well, hey, what do you guys want to do with the data? Whatever you guys say we'll do it. But Biden say, nah. That's not going to work. Hey, okay. Hey, you guys got to give it up because of the data. Okay, what do you guys want to do with the data? Whatever, you're not working with us. We're going to ban you. Isn't that interesting? Maybe it's not about the data at all. Maybe it's not about the data. Congress and the administration don't understand that TikTok is an entrepreneurial platform for thousands of American young people, he wrote. They want to screw them over just so they can pretend to be tough on China. The TikTok ban is yet another example of how neither political party has any compunctions about sacrificing your freedoms, rights, choices when it serves their political interests. Interesting little thing I call it little. I'm calling it little, like these women who say about your little business. But RFK, interesting stuff, man. You know, I say interesting because as the presidential race goes on, everybody knows it's Trump and Biden. Everybody knows that that's what it's going to end up being. So I'm not saying this I'm not commenting on this as a remark on what a great possible presidential candidate he may be, but he's just absolutely correct. He's totally showing us how Republicans and Democrats hate the American people. Absolutely hate them. $95 billion in these foreign aid packages. And Mike Johnson is like, we got to do it. It's just like, we just got to do it because the Bible and because they got hit by Iran. That's war, man. That's war. Guess what? There's a war at the southern border. I don't want to hear that. I guess we could talk about it if Trump was in power and the border was being handled, but that's not being handled. So I don't want to hear it. And them going with this TikTok ban, and Republicans are like, oh, they're not doing anything about it. It's bipartisan, they say. Some say. What does that tell you? These people who I'm talking about the Republicans, who love to say things like, well, these conservatives are being censored and we need to have free speech, do not care about that. They don't care about the border. They don't care about free speech. They don't care about any of those things. And it took an independent guy. To say, hey, I'm independent. I'm going to sue you guys because you guys are liars. You guys are liars. You don't care about national security. You don't care about any of that. That's really the true conclusion here. The TikTok ban is yet another example of how neither political party have any compunctions about they'll do it with a smile about sacrificing your freedoms, rights, and choices. As long as they win, as long as your side wins, as long as you still get the votes, as long as all that works out. TikTok. You know, Jesse was just starting to go viral on TikTok, man. But you should follow Jesse, by the way, on TikTok. TikTok. Until we'll see what happens with Biden. But until then, make sure you go to tiktok.com/@J. Wait, hold on. Let me make sure I get this right. Wait, hold on. This is bad. I should have already had this. Is it JLP Talk? Oh, wait, I have it on my phone. What's our TikTok? What a mess. JLP Talks. JLP Talks with an S. JLP Talks on TikTok. Make sure you follow until then. Help us go viral. Help us break. Let's break it open over there on TikTok. Because I'm seeing some of these Jesse videos go viral on TikTok that would get banned otherwise. I'm seeing some of the stuff on Instagram getting banned on TikTok, so I don't understand who's running things. Seems like a mess. They tell you about these terms of service, but I'm saying all that to say one thing, is that it seems like there could be a chance to go viral in different ways on TikTok because there's different censors. And everybody's trying to censor something. And Instagram and our American social medias are horrible. So do you see what I'm trying to say is I don't trust, I'm not just going to say, oh, Chinese company, let's just have American. No, give me all of them. Because America is not the shining city on the hill of freedom and free speech. So give me all of them. Give me the Chinese one, the Russian one. And that's what I'm saying. All right. Rumble's still going strong. That's true. Appreciate that, Tom, man. Follow me and subscribe over there on rumble.com/American Anchor, baby. Lily Poo, thank you so much for the Rumble rant. I appreciate that. She writes, the cloud seeding to make rain is making tornadoes and dumping water into the ocean unnaturally. I saw like a mainstream media video on Dubai and their rain-making program. Isn't that cloud seeding, Lily Poo? And they said that was crazy. Hey, rumble.com/American Anchor, baby. That's pretty much it from me, folks. Just checking to make sure I don't miss any super chats here and all that. I'll be back tomorrow for more American Anchor Baby at noon Pacific time here. That's it, right? I'm done with that, right? RFK, we're done with TikTok. I always get this nagging feeling. This is why I have to overcome thoughts. Nagging feeling that there's something left. But we'll just get to it tomorrow. That's it from me, American Anchor Baby. See you tomorrow, folks. Appreciate it. Catch the shows as they follow them all. They're great. We got Country Western Tuesday, Hake Report, and Joel. See you tomorrow at 12. Take care, folks. Peace.